Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all, or hello to the front page of international news. US President Donald Trump is extremely overwhelmed by what he is seeing in Beijing. He broke his silence and made a statement. Nope, a statement of course, which shows that Donald Trump. He's overwhelmed. He is confused by what he is seeing in Beijing. We have a photo that has circulated almost everywhere where we see the trio of Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un, the trio. Yesterday already we saw the trio Narendra Modi, the head of the Indian executive, Putin, Xi Jinping today. The other picture was the trio with Kim Jong-un, and so this image made people talk about the success of this military parade, which will take place on September 3rd in Beijing. Compared to this, Donald Trump outdated. He sees a unity of action, a demonstration of strength and power by the leaders of the global South vis-à-vis the decadent West, but more particularly, against the American, Donald Trump therefore made a statement that many find ridiculous in the context of this video conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it is this news that we are going to talk about. But before we continue, I humbly ask you to share the video conference as much as possible. Share in all possible groups. You must share, put a lot of like, and thank you especially for following this video conference until the end. So Donald Trump made the statement with a tone of assumed serenity. He introduced himself as someone who is Syrian, but in reality it is not. From the White House, Trump asserted this. He asserted that the presence of Putin, Kim Jong-un, at the Chinese Grand Parade does not pose any challenge to the United States of America. And since it poses no challenge to the United States of America, the presence of Putin and Kim Jong-un at this grand parade does not pose any challenge to America. But who asked him? What if it wasn't a challenge? Why are they making an official statement? No, it doesn't even intimidate me. It doesn't even represent a challenge. It means he's expressing the opposite of what he feels. This is a real challenge for America because it is a major problem. To see these three dinosaurs, these three monsters come together against America, it's not trivial. This is no small thing, then, for Donald Trump. This is a symbolic staging. He himself, he knows that it's a symbolic staging. That's a symbol, but tells him it's a staging, right? We are witnessing something real here. China's allies came to participate in the 420th anniversary parade of the victory over Japan. You see, and we still know that Japan, this is part of those who are the circles of America, circle of allies. So it's not just a show, it's real. Putin who came, who signed more than 20 agreements, Kim Jong-un as well. If he is ready, they have asked, they have not yet revealed to us whether there are agreements that have been signed, but they are real. It is intimidating and it impresses. Yeah, but the guy from Uncle Sam's country, he says no. Well, it doesn't pull him machine. Let's go. He says it is a symbolic staging intended for the image, but which does not change anything to the global strategic balance. He says it's just the image they wanted to spread, but it doesn't change anything to the global strategic balance. On the contrary, the image that circulates. What comes to overturn the world order? It's tipping the strategic balance of the world order. Yes, we are witnessing a reversal of the situation. How many times have the Americans, the Europeans fought to keep North Korea away from Russia, North Korea away from China, And you know, America has problems with China on the Taiwan side, and America has problems with North Korea on the South Korean side. So to see the sworn enemy of South Korea ally itself with such a powerful power, except that we make redundancy, this powerful power which is China with the powerful Russia at its side. But it's intimidating. It gives insomnia. That is why the White House came out of its reserve to declare. But behind this declaration of Donald Trump, there are political reasons that we will see right away. So by using this time, Trump seeks to protect the image of an imperturbable leader. He wants to be imperturbable, imperturbable. This is not true. The world has realized that it is already disturbed. All these systems are disrupted. So he showed the image of an imperturbable leader who refuses to be impressed by foreign demonstrations. So what he means by that is, whether they march together or not, America stays on top. This is the implicit message, but in truth. This parade dethrones America. America is no longer at the top in terms of modernizing military equipment. These three royal powers far exceed America itself. Only one already surpasses America. So then, but it is a communication that is calculated, since behind this statement and behind this statement in 100 that Trump wants to minimize. And behind this minimization lies a political strategy. First, Trump wants to reassure the American public by avoiding any alarming rhetoric, but Trump wants to show that he is not overreacting. Unlike some European leaders who are multiplying Russian warnings and threats about Russian or Chinese threats, he wants to be Syrian. So this is a way for Donald Trump to say to Americans, you can sleep easy, I'm in control. But in reality, the situation escapes 20 agreements, more than 20 agreements signed between Russia and China. So by refusing to qualify the meeting between Putin and Xi Jinping as threats. But this is a real threat. Trump shows his willingness to maintain the position of American forces, as was said earlier. Good, but unfortunately, the opposite is happening because after this great parade, many things will change. This is one of the few times we see these three dinosaurs at the same time. And so that was the front page of international news. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I will return to you by the grace of Almighty Allah. The grace of our most deserving ancestors was the voice of Robert T.